it's just like people's emotional state was different, and it blew my mind. I kind of even saw it in myself. I was like, what? Why am I like? Why am I overly aggressive? This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Evo kind of feels like that, but just for the international stage. It's just like a step up from anything else, and it's kind of like it's a conclusion to a lot of people's season. A lot of people, the people that are not doing Tekken World Tour and EWC, that Evo is usually the end to their travel season. Kind of
Yeah.
like you, the Frosties, the Showdowns, the the Paxes. You've done
CEO.
the CEO, the Combo Breaker. You've done everything, and this is it. This is the last one, and then it's off season for
Yeah.
most people. So there's like a level of intensity that you see at that event, and it's why I kind of don't like it.
Because you want more, right? You want more than just.
I'm all about the community, and seeing people kind of just be tense up and be so hard on themselves. I mean, it's crazy, man. You see your friend like drown in pools. Oh man, they're not feeling good for the rest of that weekend.
Yeah. I
It's
feel
rough.
you. I feel you there in that perspective. Mine was just like, um, my main thought was, uh, usually when I come back, or like after I'm done with the term, I might be a little bummed, right? I'm like, ugh, right? But uh, I I usually come back more stronger, right? And I'm usually excited for that because that's what happens, right? Usually when you go test yourself a bit, you come back and you feel like this is what I can do. I've learned a bit in this regard going to a big tournament. That's why I really like, right? But my main issue with this tournament was why I'm so like hard on myself. I guess it's just again it's just I didn't prepare. I really didn't prepare, but I didn't go 0-2. I went 3-2, right? I mean, it's better. I just wanted to get
I think
out
they were like
pool.
one away from making it out. I think maybe
Yeah,
one or yeah,
one
yeah,
or
it's close.
two, one or two.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. It was good. It was good though. I gotta tell you this little pet peeve I have. Okay, so people are telling me like now and like whenever I'm doing jujitsu or boxing, because like I'm working out with people I used to work out with when they were younger, and they always tell me this now that I'm older. Don't worry, you can get back into it. Don't worry, or like, you made me really work hard. I hate that. I hate that, man. When people tell me that I made them really work hard. Man, I didn't. I'm not even fucking ready, and you're telling me this. Nah, come on. Just tell me I did bad. It's okay.
That's funny.
What a
That's
bit,
funny.
yeah, yeah. Because I had two people say you made me really work hard. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not working hard. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty good, man. Well,
yeah,
with these events, I've always said this, when it comes to Tekken skill, right? People like to think of Tekken skill as like if you were to look at like a graph or something or a leaderboard, they like to think of themselves as like one dot, like this is where I'm at, right?
yeah. Like a
This
mark on the
this is
map.
my they're like, yeah, I'm right here. This is where I'm at. But a Tekken skill is actually this range.
Yeah,
And what the range is who is the best player you can possibly be,
yeah.
right? Like what is like the best guy you've ever beat, or what is the best guy you could take a set off of, right? And
Mm.
then what is the worst guy that you could possibly lose to? What is the lowest skill level at which you might drop? Like on your worst day, who can you lose to, right? And that's your range. And some people's range is totally different. Some people's range on the higher end goes so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on the lower end is super tight. Like when you look at like Arslan, right? On the lower end, Arslan is never gonna lose. We've never seen him lose to like a Fujin that showed up at a
Yeah,
tournament.
that's
Just
true.
that lower range is not even possible. Not even on his worst day. As long as he's there, right? Um, and people tend to identify with their upper range. Kind of like, well, like I beat Joey Fury that one time, so like I'm kind of close. No, bro, you're not Joey Fury,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because Joey Fury's not going back and forth with the guys you're going back and forth. Joey Fury's not losing to the guys you're losing to, and you're not consistently beating guys like Joey Fury, because Joey Fury's beating guys better than him, you know, because he has his own range. But it's kind of like people tend to identify with their upper range, and that upper range sets these unrealistic expectations of like, well, I did that one time, or like I beat that guy that one time, therefore I should keep doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like that's a great goal to strive for. But your mental, you're gonna crash out, because a lot of the times it's so difficult to be consistent at this game. In fact, I thought it's not even possible until I saw Atif and Arslan play this. It's like if I hadn't seen them play this, if it was just like NA, I would be like, consistency is not even possible in Tekken 8. That's what I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It looks impossible because it's so chaotic. But they found a way to tame the chaos and actually get really consistent results. So props. All we can do is study and try to figure it out and try to follow their example. But for us, the mid-tier players and everybody else, it's kind of like, don't identify with that upper range. Just be like, oh yeah, that was a bad tourney run. Like today, I was on my lower range. It was not one of the better ones.
Essentially, that's a good point, right? Like,
didn't prepare the best, or didn't react that day. The funniest thing is seeing, and this has happened to me, and this is what I'm trying to lock in now. And I think I locked in on very well at PAX. I was like, I will not let this happen to me, which is you have a great day 1, maybe even a great day 2, and a disastrous day 3, because you burned yourself out. Maybe the day 1 you got great sleep, maybe day 2 you even got great sleep, but on day 3 you failed. And you can kind of see this just happened to Lowhigh. The first 2 days he was 2-0 against everybody.
Yes.
He didn't drop a match, brother. He didn't drop a match.
Really?
He didn't drop a match to anyone.
Yeah.
Like, he looked unbeatable. It was, and then you showed up for top 8, and he was doing Snake Edge, and he lost both games.
Yeah.
And it was like, how'd that Snake Edge come out? Was that a missed input? Was that nerves? Was that did he just mentally break down and go, I'm done with this?
That's a good question. That's really
like, what happened? I don't know. I'd love to ask the guy, but that was like an amazing example of like, dude, I had the cleanest day 1, day 2, and just a disastrous one right after. And probably if I were to look back on all my tournament results, the best ever day 1 I ever had was last year at Evo, and the best day 2 I've ever had in any tournament was also at last year's Evo. So it was like one after the other. It was like, how did I go from like god matching people to beating absolutely everybody in casuals, better players than me in casuals, to then the next day just not being able to play at all?
Yeah.
And it's just like burnout and mental and things happening. So it's hard. People just you gotta not be so hard on yourself, and you gotta not. That's the issue with only entering like one big tournament for like 6, 7, 8 months or a year is you're gonna identify your like skill with whatever happened at that tournament, but I don't think it's a full summary. Like if you went to a bunch of these, like what happened overall? What's the overall story at like all of them? You know.
If I went to a whole bunch more, then I would have more of a understanding. But I only went to one. I haven't been to a tournament in a long time. Very good point. I appreciate.
The first one's rough, dude. The first one's always rough. You know, before a lot of these big ones, a lot of the pros start going to their locals to get the offline jitters out, to get that get in that flow, get in that tournament mood where it's like
that's why
you show up like, oh no, I'm right at home. Like this is what I do.
That's what I would do. I would before I would do consistently is I would go out to Olympia. I live far away from any local. I have to take a day trip, and every Wednesday or Saturday at the time, I would go out, sleep at one of my friend's places. He had a like a little office room, just a 1-bedroom, no bathroom office room, and I would just sleep on the bed, and then I would go walk over to the Olympia locals, go play, and then do first to 5, first to 10s with people consistently, and then before I would go to Evo, I would go and do a Thursday with all those guys at the local with Seattle Tekken, right? And I would be like, that's the one where I go, because like Blacksmith, Silence, and all those guys, you know. They're all really good. And then I would go to Evo, but I didn't do it this year, so you know that's very It's a very big thing to think about.
The buildup is huge, and
Yeah.
if you can't do the locals, then you absolutely have to run ranked like a maniac
Yeah.
because of that first to two. That first to two, you have to get in that mindset of like every round opening is important, every round ender is important, and you gotta like hop on ranked and be like, all right, I lost 2 sets, I'm done.
I'm out.
That's
Yeah.
it. I'm out,
Yeah.
dude. And you got to play it like that because people play ranked like they're okay going back and forth for 3 hours until they get slightly ahead and then they rank up and they're like, I did it. And it's, no,
Woo!
you
Yeah.
didn't.
No.
You actually didn't
You,
because, in tournament, that would have been it 3 hours ago.
yeah. Exactly.
But that ranked at least gets you in that first to two
Yeah.
mindset, which is just so different.
Yeah. I think.
And then you end up and you get a feel for things, right? You start becoming more clutch. That's the thing that blows my mind about Arson the most, right? And I'll never say anything bad about Arson because I had such a great experience training with him. That one time he invited me and James to his hotel room, and I got to play with him for like 2-3 hours, and it was just us. It was great, and he was so humble, so friendly, and great at like teaching and showing stuff, and
Oh.
he's just awesome, man. So you'll never hear me say anything bad about Arson ever after that interaction, but. What amazed me playing him was how clutch this dude was. I realized how important being clutch is because so many of the times I was like, yo, I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm getting rounds. I'm taking him to final round. Oh my God, we're both on like half health final round. And this dude just locks in and he keeps winning these final rounds. And I'm like, man, like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you so clutch? This is crazy. His round ending is so clean. The meta, the way he plays, and he just showed that. He just showed that when he's like 2-2, final round against Chikarin, and it's like it looks like a different player, and it's like, whoa, what just happened? And he just locks in on all the risk reward that he has seen over the last round. He's like, I'm gonna put this guy in every favorable scenario for me, and I'm not gonna take any risk that could, result in me dying here. And I'm gonna lock in on every read and piece of information I've gathered to make sure that I win this. And it's like that winning mentality is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And I think that at Evo, a lot of people in that like super clutch moment, that is where people break, and that is where the online and the offline players are separated. You might be 2 ranks above me, but out here in this clutch moment, you're gonna break, and I'm not.
Who will either adapt or who's gonna break, right? Jeez, yeah, I know it's corny, but winning really is a mindset.
Dude, it is.
Yeah,
it is. When you said that, I really thought about it. I'm like, it's actually true. It really is. When you show up and you're like, you could be going into that final round tilted, like, man, this set has been BS. Like, I'm probably about to lose this over some BS, and it's like, no, like this is what separates people right here, this final round. So he's just the best ever at that.
Okay.
Like no second, period. So we really saw that, man.
Let's so during the convention, Seth and me walked around a lot. Okay, we had lots of fun. We seen a dude with a shrub arcade stick. It was like a shrub. It was a plant. A plant.
Oh, yeah.
Plant. It was a plant. It was hilarious. It was absolutely amazing. We seen that dude with the giant arcade stick, right? Too. We seen some crazy ones.
That's kind of annoying, man. Like you're blocking out stations now. Like, come on. How are we supposed to actually run this, right? Because like you've seen how these things are. Like he basically is making sure. Were people able to play next to him on the other side? Like
yeah, that was really.
That's crazy.
It's funny as hell.
Well, I think my like one of my most viral tweets ever was me taking a picture of James's round 1 last year at Evo, and it was a dude with a guitar. He was playing. He sat down to play against Just Frame James at Evo on a guitar, and he was pretty good.
Let's rock.
Oh
damn,
my God!
Damn!
Man. I can't believe it.
Damn! One guy I fought. And he had a Southpaw custom made hitbox mixbox controller, and I was like, "Is that all custom made?" He's like, "Yeah, I can't get the right feel for a controller, so I just made my own." And he just made his own thing. It was really cool.
I
Yeah.
have an appreciation for people's like fight sticks and hitboxes and things. Me as a controller player, I don't have much room to be cool. But man,
Nah,
there's
nah, you
some
could be
really,
cool. You just gotta put some Hello Kitty on your arcade stick or your controller,
you
you
know,
know?
I
Come on.
have a Razer sticker on it, and the reason I have a Razer sticker on it is I learned this from EBM. Is EBM's like, dude, when you go to enough events, you're gonna find out people are gonna take your controller by accident.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they'll be like, oh, is this my, and I realized it happened to me. I went to like a Northwest Majors, and I was like, "Oop, okay, somebody took my controller. I was like, hey guys, red controller, whatever. I was like, damn, and you know, I get used to my controllers. I like my D-pad and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. You
You
kind
get
of
used to
your hands are when you use the controller enough, your hands will get in tune with you, right?
Mhm.
You know? Yeah. It's like
Exactly.
molding
So
clay
I started
almost.
putting a thing on it just to be like, that one's mine.
Good. Good, 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 good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So tell me this:
What?
the biggest. So Evo last year.
Evo
Let's
last
talk
year.
about this because
Okay.
Rick is the guy that created Combo Breaker, right? He's the TO for Combo Breaker.
Yeah.
And last year he took over as the general manager of Evo.
Yeah.
And we all know Combo Breaker is the best event in the world. It's the best. It's the best ran. It's the most fun. It's literally perfection. I mean, Combo Breaker can't be any better. I don't even know how you improve it. It's the best.
Mhm.
And Rick took over Evo, and I had these like high hopes that he was going to make it a Combo Breaker, and that was the worst Evo ever. It was so poorly ran. It was a complete disaster.
Last year's
Everything
Evo?
fell
Last
apart.
year's Evo?
Yeah, last
Last
year's
year's
Evo.
Evo?
So there were several issues. Issue number one,
Issue number one.
obviously, they included, you know, back in the day, it used to be that, you know, okay, Reg is, you know, 100 whatever bucks, and then you buy your finals ticket separately, right?
Yes.
To like go watch in the arena. And then it was like, well, now it's included. Now everybody gets to go. And it's like, okay, cool. So then, you know, they charged the high fee last year, and then guess what? The arena didn't have enough space for everyone. So
Yeah.
people couldn't get in. And it's like, damn, I like paid for this and like I can't even get in and watch it.
Yeah.
And then what ended up happening was people took all the chairs from the
Yep. Yep.
casual,
I was there. Yep. Yep.
yeah, and put them in the arena. So I was like, damn, I can't even play casuals. I can't go in the arena, and I can't even. It was just a disaster, and I can't even play casuals, and I never got a refund. I don't know if anybody else asked for one and got one, but man, that is just it was a mess. And then obviously, you know, it was just like any other Evo, where unlike Combo Breaker casuals are 24/7. My favorite part of Combo Breaker is the 1 a.m. on a Saturday, because you know most people are already out. You know, it's like Sundays like top 8 or top 24 or whatever, and it's just Saturday night, and it's like 1 a.m. and everybody's running casuals at the venue, and you got all the famous players, you got everybody there. People are running money matches. It's hilarious. People are hanging out, and Evo obviously didn't do that. Which I get it. It's Vegas. It's fine. Whatever. But I was
Yeah.
really hoping Rick would kind of turn Evo into Combo Breaker. I'm hearing this year was better. Maybe you can tell me. You know.
Yeah. I didn't go to the arena this year, but it was in the orb, the giant orb. I didn't want to
Oh,
go.
really? It was
Yeah.
in the Sphere.
Yeah, it was in the sphere from what I
Oh,
know.
I love the Sphere.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to go to it. It was hot, and Seth and me went like we walked from the condo to South Vegas area, Mandalay Bay,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we walked up to Fremont.
Wait, Top 8 was actually in the Sphere?
From
That big thing, that the whole thing's a screen?
from what I know, I don't know if it was. I think it was.
It didn't look like it, because
No?
I've been in the Sphere,
Been in the
and
Sphere?
they would have done something with the. If they had rented out the Sphere, which is, by the way, is
I probably got it
insanely
wrong.
expensive.
I probably
Insanely
got it wrong.
expensive.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I probably got it wrong. I didn't look up where it was.
Yeah, it can't be the Sphere, because if they had done the Sphere, they would have done something with that big screen. Because when you go in, it's like the biggest screen in the world, right?
Yeah, that looked more like the arena at the Mandalay Bay, right? From that
Yeah,
1 year.
yeah, I saw. It didn't look like the Sphere. There's no way that was
No,
the
yeah,
Sphere.
no, that was not the sphere. That was not the sphere.
Because
Yeah,
in the Sphere, the seating is like, you know,
yeah, like a wave.
at an incline. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was not the area. I think that was. I got that horribly wrong. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It
Yeah,
must have been somewhere. The Sphere's like a little bit like off the strip too, so I would have
yeah,
been like kind of surprised if they made everybody like go over there. But either way, the arena looked fine.
yeah. It was really
It
good,
wasn't
really good
it
looking
wasn't like
area.
the best stage I've seen, but it looked fine.
Mhm.
You know.
Um, from what I know is Tabaras was asking me about it because they had to charge. I think they were like $150 each. I could be wrong.
Four?
But the arena, and I know that
What?
yeah, and I know that like they already got sold out when we
It
went.
wasn't included?
No, it was not included. It was not included.
Oh no
Right, and the
way.
tickets were already at like almost three
Oh
hundred
no way,
bucks.
that's crazy. So they
Yeah,
they really played us because
yeah.
yeah, originally, the ticket was like 130, 150, and then you spend that extra $100.
Mm,
That was the ticket to finals. Now it's just 250, but you don't even get to the finals? That's crazy.
no,
I can't believe that.
yeah, you had to pay to get in.
That's nutty.
Yeah.
I would have thought it included.
Well, it's Evo. They're
Hmm.
doing new things. Yeah.
They can get away with it. So that's the thing is like
We got a new water bottle. Yay.
every year there's a water bottle and that logo washes off before I even get the
We
next
have a
one.
new one. The bottle looks like it's from fucking Fortnite. The logo looks like it's from fucking Fortnite. They have
That's
like
crazy.
blue and yellow on the badges. Blue and yellow. You know, the nice baby white and teal blue. Whatever. Nice blue. Yeah.
And Sony owns this thing now.
Yeah, they
Sony
do.
owns Evo, right?
Yeah.
And this is a part of the problem. So, huge Sony fanboy here, right? I was like, when the PS3 came out, I was one of those like fanboys fighting all the Xbox people, and I even bought an Xbox just to
Man
tell
was
people it's good,
in the
right?
trenches.
Like, huge Sony fan, so I get to criticize them because I still am. Right now, I'm looking at an in-zone monitor, and that's exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about these in-zone monitors, man, because they I understand Sony owns Evo, so the equipment has
Oh,
to be Sony. Right?
you want to talk about like the latency because there was latency. Oh, there
Yeah.
was. Oh, there was. I use a
Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting. I use
No.
a BenQ monitor.
Mm,
You know, one of those
I
really
got
good ones.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm on it right now. Right. I use a BenQ monitor because they're good. I don't like having latency.
Yeah, I have the old Evo BenQ Zowie
Mm.
monitor,
Oh, wow.
which probably right now that thing's worth 60 or $70. Right? It's totally cheap. But guess what? For Tekken, the input lag is in the eights, 8 milliseconds,
Oh
8 point
no,
something.
for that?
And which is perfect. That's exactly where we're
Okay.
at. So the misconception is this, right? And it blows my mind because in any other esport, people are obsessed about monitors. Like nobody knows more about monitors than like esports players.
Yeah,
But then you come
CS:GO.
into the FGC and nobody knows anything about monitors. And if you start talking about monitors, people are like nerd.
Nerd.
Like
Well, I
people
learned.
don't.
Uh,
I remember trying to
mhm.
like start discussions on Twitter about monitors, and that was when I like stopped engaging with the general public because
uh,
people were like, "Oh my god," their responses were just abysmal. It was like people that didn't understand anything about the monitor chiming in, or people that were just so rude about the topic, and it's kind of like, okay, you don't care, I care.
yeah.
Um,
What's wrong
and
with
it's so
having a
so
good
what's
monitor for
mind-blowing.
tournaments?
Hmm?
You know, what's wrong with having a good monitor for tournaments, essentially? You know?
Exactly. So a part of the issue is people often confuse response time with input lag.
Yeah.
Input lag is so response time can be like, oh, how quickly the monitor like switches from grays to blacks and so on and so forth. Input lag is what we care about. Input lag is
Yeah.
the time you push the button that it gets to the monitor, right? And that you see it. So input lag is the actual measurement, and monitor companies never post that. So they do not post those numbers.
Yeah.
Usually. Now some of them have started to advertise for the higher refresh rates and stuff like that. But here's the point. The point is you go on Amazon, you look at a monitor, it usually says like, oh, 1 ms response time. And people are like, oh, my monitor's 1 ms. It must be the best. No, you gotta go look at input lag tests. And back in the day, tech and nerds used to look at a website called Display Lag. These days, Artings, which is like ratings without the A, is a super reliable site, and they do the most like in-depth testing. And what I love about their testing is they test at different refresh rates. Tekken runs at 60 hertz.
Yep.
I don't care if this is the best monitor in the world at 360 hertz. What's the input lag like at 60? Because that's what my stupid PS5 is going to output for Tekken,
Yep.
right? So TOs and people are getting confused because even the ones that understand the difference between response time and input lag are looking at the best number that monitor will put out, but that's for like Call of Duty. That's not for us. That's not for Tekken. So here's the issue, right? It has to be a Sony monitor. All right, fine. They had the M3, which was the cheapest of the bunch, right? It was the 1440p. And so the quickest monitors, they're in the 8s, right?
Yeah.
This one was in the mid 12s.
Mm-hmm.
Not the worst, but I pulled up a freaking leaderboard of like fastest 24 to 27 inch monitors at 60 hertz.
Yes.
That one didn't make the top 250. And it was like, you telling me the monitor being used at the most important events we have is not a top 250 monitor? Like, that's crazy. And so the M3 kind of sucked. They had this M9, and it was like, all right, the M9 is 4K, the M3 is 1440p. The visuals for the casuals would be improved, right?
Yeah.
So you can look at a pretty good graphics. And the input lag on the M9, which is what I have, is in the 8s. It's like 8.9 at 60 hertz. So you're within 0.5 milliseconds of the fastest monitors in the world. Even I am not going to complain about that.
No, that's good.
Half a millisecond, I'm not going to complain about half a millisecond. But when you're losing 4, 5, 6, it's like, all right, what are we doing now? What are we doing? And, you know, some of the international players, they've gone to events overseas where they have like some of the worst monitors ever, and they're not even on game mode, and they're at like 70 ms or something. You know, they're practically like laggy TVs.
Yeah.
And I've gone to events and seen like a Sharp TV. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Hold on, I got my monitor. I'm just gonna carry it around with me. Yeah, I went.
Yeah, it was a Sharp TV, you know.
When I first found out about like input lag and stuff, Silence taught it to me, and it was when I was playing on PlayStation. I switched over to PC, and then I learned that like a lot of good players on PlayStation can't do good on PlayStation ranked on PC ranked for Tekken. Like there's a few people, I won't name names, from what I know, but because I feel like that.
Quicker.
What?
It's quicker. The PC,
yeah, it's quicker, right? Yeah, exactly, right? And yeah, it's good. It's good. It's really good. But when I played on the in-zone monitors at Evo, there was definitely I was on P2, and I was even doing like back inputs, and my character wouldn't backdash.
Dude, so this is the conclusion to me going off on this whole thing. They downgraded their own monitor. So this is what's shocking. Yeah, so get this. So initially we had two models, the M3 and the M9, right? The M3 was the 1440p laggier one and cheaper, and the M9 was the 4K, like fast, better at 60 hertz, and it's what I actually have. I have an in-zone M9. I'm looking at it right now. I have multiple monitors, like I said, but this is the one I primarily use. And they never got the M9, and it was like, all right, that sucks. Well, so I thought it was a cost thing. I was like, all right, I can't be too stuck up because the M9 costs considerably more than the M3. Sony's giving out M3s. It's their cheaper model. It is what it is. No. What they just did was they came out with a new one, right? And this monitor is an OLED, and it costs way more than the M9 did. It's like $1,000-something bucks, right? And it's even laggier than the shitty M3 was.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take I'll just take something else entirely, right? Yeah.
And that's what they put that new monitor at Evo, and it was like, I'm sure it's great for shooters, man. It's not great for our game. So it's like we downgraded. We went from the laggy, cheap, crappy monitor that we hated to the most expensive even laggier monitor. And I was like, Sony's never really been great about like input lag, even with their TVs and stuff. They've always kind of lagged behind. I remember when the LG OLEDs came out, they got like NVIDIA G-Sync, they got the really quick input lag. Like LG put so much effort in for gamers, and Sony was always like, they were always at like 35 ms and stuff. I was like, what's going on? Well, why is Sony like this? Like they make PlayStations. They should care.
Yeah, they should, because it's their reputation and their products. But I don't think it's really
yeah.
like,
So basically, cost.
because
the only reason I wasn't crashing out over the monitor was I thought it was a cost thing. I thought it's like, all right, we got two requirements, right? And you can't really bypass it. It has to be a Sony, and it has to be the cheaper one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I guess there's not much we can do. So I kind of chilled out. But then this year they stack up on that new OLED one that costs more than them. And I'm like, all right, now you guys are trolling me.
Yeah.
It's even laggier than the cheap one. Why would you do this to me?
Yeah, PlayStation is like the console for fighting games too, right? They market themselves in that regard. So that makes no sense to me why they would make a worse monitor and then put it in a fighting game, right?
I don't know what they're
like,
ultimately.
We're not a beta test here, right? We're not a beta test.
Yeah,
here.
I don't. And so the one I'm talking about is the M10s, and I'm looking at the numbers right now. And so at 60 hertz, it's 13.5 ms, and the old M9 was 8.9, which was great.
Yeah.
And then the M3 that was being used, I had it here somewhere. It's like 12 point something. Yeah. So the issue with this one, the new M10s, is like, let me look at the price. Let me look. This thing is like something like $1,000, man. I peek at it. See price on Amazon. Oh Lord, $1,200. It's $1,200.
Oh,
it's insane. And like, look, they're advertising like, oh, quick response time, blah blah blah, 480 hertz. I don't care about 480 hertz. How does it run Tekken, dude? Yeah, so it just sucks. So they've now proven to me that price was never the issue.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm crashing out.
All right, so I'm gonna pick your brain here. What was one of your favorite fights at Evo?
I'm biased, man.
Right?
To me, the fights that are exciting to me, it's really weird, right? Because I'm not just a viewer. Like, I know a lot of these people, right?
Yeah.
So to me, what's exciting is when I see my friends on the screen. So my favorite fight was Joe Crush versus K-Wiz.
Oh, yeah?
It went to a final round. K-Wiz is one of my favorite players, right? I've had the pleasure of meeting him and playing sets with him. I love the guy, and I watch his stream frequently.
I said he's a lot shorter in person, right?
He's a lot short. Yeah,
he's a lot shorter in person.
But
he's a great guy.
So and obviously Joe, I'm always cheering for Joe because he's my buddy and fellow Texan. So I'm always excited to see him do well. And in my opinion, he's the best player in the U.S. So I want him to prove that.
I mean, he was the first ever American to win the Tekken World Tour Last Chance qualifier. First ever American, right? Oh my
Lord! Crazy run.
Yeah,
it was a crazy run. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was nuts. And he from the Jack players, it seems like he adapted best, right? Because it was kind of like in Tekken 7, we had Anakin, Joey, and him, and it's kind of like it was the American trio, and you didn't really know who was who. Anakin had the best results, right? Anakin, third and I think fifth at Evo.
I talked to Joe Crush recently at Evo, and told me that Mayoel, I think his name is Mayoel.
Yeah.
He went and watched him. Like, he kept on going over to his area where he was playing and kept on watching him. Right?
Awesome, man.
And then he saw him using Mayoel's. He started using stuff that Joe Crush was doing. Right.
You gotta love it. No, his Jack is so like, dude, it's super optimal.
So scary.
Super optimal.
So scary.
The combos, the setups, like it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Joe being a friend and K-Wiz being one of my favorite players, that's so hyped to me because like, dude, here's one of my favorite Hwoarang players that's playing one of my favorite American players and a friend, and it's like that's hype to me. Top 8 is never gonna match that level of hype for me personally.
All right.
So like I'm biased. I don't know if that was the best match, but it was a final round
okay.
set, and K-Wiz K-Wiz is so good against Jack.
Mhm.
He pulled some stuff in there that I was like, I'm taking notes. Like I love it. And I know K-Wiz has spent so much time studying Jack because even back in Tekken 7, he had to play Anakin in the 10v10, and then he was so eager to get his run back, and so like I know he spent a lot of time like looking at Jack and Jack players, and he knows that if he comes to America, he's probably gonna have to play a Jack.
Oh yeah.
So,
we have a few of those. We have a few of those.
Yeah, and EU they don't want to lose, so but I loved it, and K-Wiz was winning because it was like, damn, this is some crazy stuff he's putting on the screen that is really good and hard to adapt to. Like punch pairing, the Jack, punch string, like amazing. And Rhythm, I saw Rhythm, Joe's brother, leaned in, and dude, Rhythm is like one of the top anti-Hwoarang players I've ever played. It was like playing against him, it was like I was learning how to beat Hwoarang playing against Rhythm. I was like, he's doing things I hadn't seen. I'm like, this is great. So Rhythm leaned in, and I'm like, I am sure that whatever he tells Joe is gonna be very useful. And he turned it around, dude. I don't know what Rhythm told him, but Joe was losing. He flipped it around, came back, and I was like, that was my favorite set for sure.
Good.
But looking at some of the placements, dude, there was some crazy upsets in there again.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, again, if it wasn't for the Pakistanis, I would think consistency is not even possible.
Okay.
Because you're seeing like top NA players going to losers like early, like Genghis Dawn.
Genghis Dawn, right?
Blunted Black was sent to losers by like God knows who.
Yeah.
It happens, man. It's super difficult. And looking at a bunch of the American players, like you're gonna see them like do amazing at like one, right? They're gonna like look at Hendo, right? Hendo has had some of the best placements, dude. I think he got like 9th at Evo Japan or something, and then he got like 13th or 17th at Combo Breaker and CEO. So it's like super top 24, always almost top 8 type of guy, right? And he got like 97th or something at Evo. And obviously he's gonna be frustrated. I saw him tweet, he's like, hey man, I'm done for a while. And it's like, no, like, brother, that's the game. It's crazy. You can't every time get 9th. And it was the same thing with Rhythm. Rhythm last year got 9th at Evo, man. He did. And this year he got like 33rd. And that's a huge difference. The guys that tend to get like 33rd are like, like the better players in NA usually, or the best players, but they didn't do so hot. And then 9th is like, that's where you're getting like book,
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on no NA players making top 8? Because usually,
we're crashing out.
Whenever I started Tekken, I'd always see in almost every Evo, I would see like Anakin always in top 8 at Evo, right? Because he was the first.
It's true.
I would always see him, right? But I didn't see him this time, right?
Yeah, we had Lil Majin. Well, Anakin hasn't been able to replicate his results from Tekken 7 at all.
Yeah, he's a very defensive guy. He's a very defensive guy.
But that being said, this was actually his best result because you know what's crazy? If you look at how everyone placed, you got Joe Crush at number 1 for NA at 17th.
Yeah.
And then you look at just one round back from top 24 at 25th place. You got Anakin, Jimmy J, and Ninja Killa.
Oh, wow.
Which Ninja Killa is no surprise. To me, the best 3 players in America for me are Ninja Killa, Shadow, Joe Crush. Those are the best 3.
Yeah.
And Ninja Killa obviously just by far being the best online ranked player, right?
Number
1, Joe's number 2. And so, but like Ninja Killa doesn't have that international experience that James used to talk to me about. James was like, dude, there might be like, he was telling me like back in the day, he was like, there might be like someone that's better than him that will do worse against the internationals because they simply didn't have all those games. And he's like, he was telling me this one time where he played with the Koreans for like 3 days in a row, and then it was not long after that he beat Nee in tournament. And it was because when you get that international experience, you're like, oh, this is a different play style. They react like completely differently. Like it's just totally different. You gotta like fine tune it.
Oh, yeah.
So if Ninja Killer goes out there and actually like travels and gets that practice against the internationals, oh my god, the dude will be a menace. But right now, all he knows is NA. So it's like whatever's online on ranked, if it ain't there, then he doesn't have experience against that playstyle or that character. Kind of like the Victor thing, right? Last tournament he got knocked out by two Victors because we don't have a Victor player.
No,
that
we
plays at that
don't.
level.
We don't. Yeah, we actually do not have.
We don't have a Farzine level Victor. Like we don't.
Oh yeah, that's very interesting.
So it's like, I think I just played like one of the best Victors in NA gaming on you at PAX, and I was able to get a 2-0. That's not the same level as like Farzine and like AO and those guys. Just totally different.
What
man.
did you?
And Mayo Ill was using Victor.
All right.
So
I gotta ask this question. Sorry for interrupting. I gotta ask this question. What did you think about the JDCR? Because I'm biased here. What did you think about the JDCR versus Tivatona? Tivatona. What did you think of that fight? Did you see that?
Dude, he got them with their own sauce, dude.
Yeah.
He did a rage art for the win, and it was actually it's my favorite type of rage art. This meta has happened in Tekken 8 that people didn't used to do in 7, which is like out in the open, people around end and stuff still feel people feel so comfortable tossing out these crazy strings now out in the open, and the reason is because they have so much tracking now.
Yeah,
it used to be that. If you're at like range 3 or 4 and you start tossing out a string, I'm like, what are you doing, fool?
You're gonna get caught.
Yeah, I'll either backdash and make you whiff even if you finish the whole stupid thing, or I'll like sidewalk it, right?
It's almost like seeing like a kid coming at you with a pool noodle, and you're like, what are you doing?
It's crazy. It's crazy. But in Tekken 8, it actually works because the backdash is so bad that at like range 3, you started a string, and I'm like, trying to get out, but I'm stuck in the mud, and then I try to step, but for whatever reason the thing like tracks me and smacks me in the face even if I'm like deep sidewalking, and it's like, dude, why does the second or third hit of that, like, why does it have tracking? And you can see in the latest patch they buffed the tracking on consecutive moves in some of the strings, like that Horang move that I taught you to like sidestep right duck. I thought they were gonna nerf that. I thought they were gonna be like, oh, enough of that high like freaking tracking. They doubled down. On the latest patch, it clearly says increased the tracking of the second hit. Yeah. I was like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
You guys...
I was like, they doubled down.
I've talked to Tavares. I talked to Tavares about some of the changes, and not trying to pivot or anything, but there's just a little thing. I was like, I really wonder what they're smoking, and please send it over. I want some. I really want some.
It's crazy, though. It's crazy. Because there's like certain things like that where like, wait, hold on, nobody wants that in the game, right? Nobody wants like, once you start stepping a string, nobody wants the string to realign, right? If the guy like keeps mashing the buttons, the whole point is like, if you keep, so here's the thing, right? If you overextend, and that's the Jumanji has always had to explain this to people.
Yeah.
When you sidewalk something, right? And then you push a button, you're extending your like hurt box, right? So a lot of the times when you sidewalk something and you push into a string, it might clip you because you overextended.
Yeah.
But that's not even what we're talking about now. We're talking about you sidewalk, you keep sidewalking, a bunch of these strings keep hitting you. Some of them don't, but a lot of them do. So what happened was Tibatano was like far out, started like mashing buttons just carelessly, and JDCR was like,
all right, go ahead.
That rage art.
Yeah.
And so the rage art is a great way when you get into that rage state to stop dudes mashing strings from like range 3, because it's like, dude, you're stuck in a string.
And watching the Tivatoni, watching them, the Asuka player, they would just throw out a string, charge move, whatever, and they would just continue it. They wouldn't, and I think JDCR like knew that too, right? Because no matter what, they would. Tivatano, yeah, they would just.
Tivatano is such a nice guy, man. Those like that whole group of guys. Yeah. Like Omega Shadow and them, and they're like a group of friends. And every time I see them at a major, they're some of my favorite people. I love those dudes. And Tibatano is a sweetheart, man. The guy is awesome. He's so friendly and always smiling.
He looks like a teddy bear. He looks so nice.
Dude, he's fucking awesome. I hate the way he plays, dude. Like, and this is coming from I'm the crazy Hwoarang player, right? I'm the dude that's like mashing and doing crazy shit. I hate the way he plays. It
Yeah.
just and it's kind of like we've all kind of accepted that like when you play like that, that's cool. You can get like wins here and there. There's no way he should be placing the way he is. The game simply allows that crazy play style for both the game mechanics and Asuka too.
Yep.
Like watching that grand final versus Jean Ding, that is by far the ugliest gameplay I've ever seen win a master event in the history of Tekken. I've never seen gameplay like this shit win a master event grand final. The dude was like back threeing on approach, back three panic constant, cans constant, parries and sabakis constant,
And he was
power
able to
prep-
do it with little punish.
rage arts nonstop, and it's like, dude, like this is crazy.
Makes you just want to
And-
lean back and go, oh, I need a beer.
Yeah, and you're not going to tell me that Jean Ding doesn't have the fundamentals to deal with that. Well, you do. It's just it's overwhelming because Asuka has like all these panic mechanics, but she also has insane offense that locks you down, doesn't let you walk properly, and is like the mix up her nuts. Her heat is crazy. Everything's crazy, and so
Install's
I'm
crazy.
happy for Tibetano as a person. I am not happy to see that kind of Asuka gameplay actually win majors. That's crazy. I don't mind if like, oh, like he did great. He got like, 24th or whatever. Dude, there's no way. And you just see it because all the Asuka players are doing great now. King Ray Jr. is doing better than he ever has. Tibetano is doing consistently better than he ever has. And Fergus is like back, man. Fergus is like back. And I love Fergus. Happy for him. But
I've seen Fergus.
Asuka needs a
oh yeah,
nerf hammer, dude.
they need a
Nerf
little
hammer
bit
for
of
Asuka.
that. Oh yeah.
So happy to see JDCR's fundamentals prevail against that craziness.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that because it looked like to me, my partner was watching it. We're watching on the TV, and we watched the fight, and we're like, he was like, JD's really just blocking for his life.
Dude, he is. He's like trying to play like old Tekken, and then every once in a while he's like, all right, I'm gonna do the Tekken 8 stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's how we finished him, right? With the nice rage art to stop the string. But JDCR, man, by the way, not a lot of people noticed. But JDCR made top 8 at EVO last year too.
Yep.
The reason he
was
just
only
wasn't on the
top
big
6.
stage because they did top 6.
Yeah, to top 6, right? He still got paid. He even wrote about that on Twitter message or something like that about it. I don't know. But yeah, he made top 8 again, right? It's really good.
Yeah, that's 2 years in a row, man. You can't say the guy's washed. You cannot say the guy's washed if he's in two top 8s at EVO in a row. Can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's the big one, right? I don't know about all these EVO France and EVO Singapore coming up.
JD,
but this is the real EVO,
He's doing it with Dragunov, and he plays more Tekken 7, like, right? He's a fundamental defense monster, right? I have a little bit of a bias because, I got a little coaching from him, and he's Dragunov.
Oh, no kidding. You got some coaching from JD.
Yeah. I still have my notes, right? It's pretty good.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. But you know what? Now that you mentioned it, that was season 1 Dragunov.
No. That the coaching I got was from during Tekken 7. Right?
Oh, I hear you. I'm just talking about like when I realized he made top 8 last year. Too.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's not that surprising.
But he did it. He did it this year though with season 2 Dragunov, which, in my opinion, my perspective is he's a little it's weird, right? Because they want him to be more aggressive, right? But yet he's meant to be more all round and a poke move, not just like anga bunga. Because now I have people that like throw on my +4 with my running 2. They'll just throw. They'll just press a button, right? Because I'm trying to delay to read them, right? And I die for it, right? And if you watch
more than ever, man, and it's working.
If you watch JCR in their fight, that even happened to him like once or twice, right? So he thought about trying to delay and then jab, and then he got caught for it, right? Which was a good read on those players' parts, right? Because that's the correct call.
It's rough. I used to be like, my best results in Tekken 7 were when I would go in and just be like, I'm not gonna mash. Like if you like
Yeah.
If you watch my like set against Emily, I think I have like a match or something on YouTube when I beat Emily. It was like I went into that set and I was like, I'm not gonna mash. I'm gonna play super patient, overly patient, annoyingly patient.
Yeah, yeah.
And it works. In Tekken 7 it just works. And here it's like, nah man, you can't not mash. You gotta do it. And sometimes it's hard to find the right amount because it's kind of like you might start mashing and it's working against that guy, and you should honestly keep mashing because it's like if his offense is not frame tight, or if he's not adapting, or the setups he has don't include beating these buttons, then you should keep pressing them. But then again, it can also become predictable. And then if people catch on to you mashing a lot, and if they do have those setups, and then you get eaten alive, and people are like, "Why are you mashing?" And it's like, well, that's the game now. I have to mash like crazy.
Yeah.
If I don't mash, you're like, this guy didn't press anything. It's like, it's a weird balance, and it's very like opponent based. So it's kind of like just mash, but try to be unpredictable. And mashing was always like, you always had to mash a little bit, like, you know, famous Jimmy J Tran tweet, like, you know, you have to challenge sometimes. But it used to be at a way lower rate in Tekken 7. It used to be like, oh, he's crazy, he pressed. Now it's like everybody's pressing.
Everyone's pressing.
And the power crushes are so strong, the rage arts are strong, and now people would rather, you know, what's like almost more that what's more favorable these days is a panic move than just defense.
Yes. It almost like,
it's like
a panic move is your defense almost.
Like something evasive, or like the Tibetano thing, right? It's so hard to play against Tibetano because you don't even know which one he's gonna press. It's like, is he gonna parry? Is he gonna Tsubaki? Is he gonna back three? Like, is he gonna sidestep two? Like, Asuka has too many freaking options. Or like, is he gonna power crush? And it's like, it's too many, and nothing beats all of them. So it's kind of like you're constantly hesitating, right? You're constantly hesitating, and just when you think like, oh, like my hesitation got him to like chill, then they bust out the button, and it's crazy. It's like it's just, Asuka has too many defensive options. Too many.
Okay, so here's the big question. Top 8. What did you think of top 8?
Worst top 8 ever, man.
Yeah, I'll agree there. I agree there. Seth was eating Chinese food with me and everything. We were watching top 8, and we seen so many Annas. Seth said, what is that gut jab into the upper hand? Is that their one jab? He doesn't know fighting games at all, right? He doesn't know.
Oh, for Anna?
Yeah. I was like, it's down forward 1-2, right? Down forward
1-2. Yeah. That move, man.
Because he said that he noticed that all the Annas would just continue using it all the time. He's like, why is it so strong? Yeah, it jails. It goes into stance.
And when I was playing Arslan, playing as Nina, it was like, dude, it's rough. Because he's so good at like getting a read and reacting to like what you're doing.
It's not like silences Nina when he uses down forward 1, right? Because he'll do lots of dash guards into down forward 1, right?
It's very different. Silence has never felt that oppressive, but again, I haven't played. I played Evan a little bit in 8, kind of like when the game first came out, and he hadn't even fully adapted to like all of 8. So I don't know what he plays like now, but no, it didn't feel that way at all. When I hopped in against Arslan's Nina, man, it was like, what the hell? This is so oppressive, and it's so quick, and it's constant, and it's like, man, I was like, I have to play like really quick Tekken because I can't use Horeng's like slower moves if I'm going down to stuff, because you know my fastest low is like 16 frames for down back 4. 17 for down 3-4. My lows are like too slow. I'm like constantly getting poked out. Just frame Skyrock is way too slow. Even my like down forward 4 too slow. So, you know, my homing mid 16 frames. It was like, man, I was like, I got to play like really quick pokey Tekken or just like block a lot. It was like, it's so oppressive. It locks you down. And Anna has that, but she also has like way crazier mix-ups.
Yeah, she can go into 2 stances, I believe. She can go for the high, the mid.
Yeah, there's something for everything.
Something for everything,
you gotta like guess. And I was like, I remember at like one of the recent tournaments, people were like, oh, why is he not ducking the second hit of the RPG? And it's like, what do you mean? There's a mid. Like what? The mid's hella damage. It's a lot of damage. So like I don't know if he's gonna do the higher the mid.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. But
because the
and it's
onus is
also
on
like
you, right? The onus is
what's
on
up?
you.
And it's like people are trying to downplay the sweep, right? The hand sweep. And I was like, brother,
Oh
I was
yeah.
asking James last night. I was like, all right, James, you're playing law, right? You just got a heat engager. What's your best low? Like what does it do? A tenth the damage that Anna sweep does? Like what kind of risk reward is that? It's like, well, it's launch. Yeah, okay. Have you seen the damage? People are getting like 90, 100 damage off this freaking thing.
Yeah,
And it was
then
like,
at the wall, you can get into the
back in
wall
the
too, right?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm about to say. Remember back in the day, in like older Tekkens, it used to be that okay, you just gotta launch, right? And you gotta choose. Do you want the high damage combo or do you want the wall carry?
Yeah.
Because if you want the wall carry, you have to drop a lot of damage,
Mhm.
right? Like you're giving up damage for wall carry. Because like, hey, I didn't do nearly as much damage, but I got him to the wall.
I really
now
want
it's
to put you in
like,
a bad
no,
position,
dude,
yeah.
you got the damage, you got the wall carry, and Anna might even hit you with a freaking debuff for the
Yeah,
for the
whenever
chip
they
damage.
do whenever they do the debuff though, they're risking losing 10 to 8 points of damage or so from what I
Yeah,
know.
and that debuff is crazy. So there's a little bit there, but again, I've seen some combos where I'm like, man, are they losing damage? Because that combo with the debuff does more damage than my combos. So like, what's up with that? Does she just do so much damage that sacrificing 10 means nothing to her? Like, what's the deal?
Maybe, I don't know. She was very impressive. Seth fell asleep while watching top 8.
Dude, it was horrible.
He said it was very
just-
boring.
She's not fun to watch. She's not fun to watch because the gameplay itself is so boring because she's oppressive and just dude
Yeah.
you get once she gets that vortex going, I don't
It's-
care who you are, you're guessing.
It's almost as
Like-
if she is allowed to express herself and you're not allowed to express anything at all, right? Because of her
It's
playstyle.
just better. It's just like a better version of
Yeah.
it's the most Tekken 8 gameplay and it's just a better version than everything else everybody else is doing.
Seth was
And
legit saying he
Oh.
was saying that you should play her. She seems like a better Dragon.
She's a better anybody.
Yeah, exactly, right? Better
Better.
anybody.
And you know, I almost tweeted, but again, I promised myself to try to stay away from balance.
That's completely okay.
So if I am tweeting something about a character, it's gonna be like comedy based. But basically, I almost tweeted, and I was like, I had it written. I almost pulled the trigger right before Evo. I was gonna write, I'm not sure what's gonna happen at Evo, but I guarantee you, Anna is number 1.
Yeah.
And Brian is probably number 2. And with the Brian thing, it's really funny because it's like, all right, well, Neat crashed out. Okay, there was still Brian in top 8 with low high,
Yeah.
who was 2-0ing everyone. Jimmy J was the second highest placing American with Brian, and Bilal got like 9th, also exclusively almost with Brian. So we almost had 2 Brians in top 8. Bilal was like a couple of hits away from being a second Brian in top 8. And if Nee had made it, dude, we could have easily had 3 Brians in top 8.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
The characters actually, it's really funny because I actually don't think Brian is that crazy unless piloted by a true world-class player. But when he's piloted by a world-class player, bro, what? It's crazy.
Yeah.
First of all, the neutral is insane, right?
Yeah.
The neutral's like
you're
possibly the
essentially
best.
like he's essentially a Mishima in that regard because
Dude,
of
it's
course
crazy.
of forward 1+2, course of back 1.
The combination of all those, and then the new low, all the lows, but then the wall situation is way crazier than it's ever been because it's kind of like, you know, in Tekken 7, I got to play the good Brians in tournaments and stuff. I played Ty, I played those guys. Dude, it was not that crazy at all because it was like, all right, you're at the wall. If you tech, right? If you tech, you're calling the guy out. Let me see that execution. Let me see it. Let me see you do it right now on the stage. Let me see you do the taunt jet upper.
You do the taunt jet upper. Yeah.
Yeah, you're calling him out, right? And then if you stay down, okay, he hit me with like a low. He hit me with like one tiny low. Okay. And then if you wanted to really mix him up, you delay tech. right? You do like a little delay tech, and they're like, oh, dude, now if you stay down, they relaunch you for a full combo, and
Yeah.
then you're back in the same mix.
Yep.
You're back in the same mix. And the problem with the tech roll now is like, even if the guy has nerves, even if he's not knee and he's not tie, dude, they'd be doing like taunt heat smash. They'd be doing taunt into like other stuff, and it's like, dude, what's this easy execution now? You're breaking my guard with like easy execution on tech roll now? That's crazy.
They
The whole
also
point
they
is you're supposed to
also
do something crazy to get this.
I don't know if you know this, but they also made during Tekken 8, they also made it I think like 3 frames easier to do for the taunt setup.
Dude, insane. So it's super lame. So it's basically like the whole point was, if I tech roll, I'm calling you out. Let me see that execution. Now it's like that's not even required.
It's like that's
And the other
scary as
point
hell.
was,
Yeah.
the other point was, if I stay down, I'm not gonna die for it. Like, you're gonna have to like hit me with a bunch of lows or like something, you know. But now it's like, you stay down, refloat, full combo, you're back, same spot. Oh, you stayed down again? Boom, full combo. Stop staying down. I need you to tech roll into my easy execution finisher. It's like, what? What is this?
Yeah.
No other character, dude. Yoshi at his best with the best wall Oki didn't make me feel like the way I feel against Brian right now. It's like, when Jumanji was running like Prime Yoshi Oki, I didn't feel the way I
felt
feel
it. I
against
felt Prime Yoshi Oki too.
Brian. There was solutions. There was ways. They had to like really react and guess. If you knew the game, you could like work around it. But now it's like, this Brian stuff is just so brain dead, man. It's killing me. And it's just like in tournament, it's like, hold on. So you're just gonna like, you have way better buttons in neutral, right? The neutral's insane. And then you win that neutral, you take me to the wall, and then it's the most busted wall game in the history of Tekken. Like, what is this?
Yep. Plus,
It just
if he has install, not install, if he has token in any manner, it's even scarier because he has all these new follow-ups. He can even just guard break you another manner, right? It almost like makes you tired thinking about it, right? You're like, oh, I can go to sleep right now.
on top of like, he's the best like character to maintain the counter hit game, right? It's like the damage is nuts, because it's like, anybody that still wanted to play that like counter hit game, like most characters don't have that anymore, right? But Brian is like,
he still has all of his counter hit moves. He's still got
the
all.
Tekken 7 bombs, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
and the damage is crazy. And it's like, hold on, you just counter hit me once, you know, which we don't have crazy counter hit moves.
You're
like you,
getting
buddy.
my ass to the wall.
And
guaranteed.
And, like, and you did 100 damage off the counter hit, and you took me to the wall, and then I'm guessing for life, and the guess is just not favorable at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't fun. And I get that, you know, he's not like a blatantly obvious top tier in that it requires a pretty good player still.
Yeah.
Like, I think you just need like a really good player to pilot him, and then it's just ugh.
What did you think about the Chikarin run? Seth was voting for Chikarin, right? What did you think?
I mean, kind of everybody was, right? Because it's nobody ever wants to cheer for the annoying character. And you know, especially when they're top tier.
I don't know if you saw it, but like, sorry for interrupting, but I don't know if you've seen it, but like when they were like calling all the players, like I think JDCR was the loudest person there that they were cheering for,
yeah.
And then I think like the Pakistanis not so much, but then Chikarin and Mio Il, like lots of cheering, right? But it was interesting. Chikarin seemed like he got really tired. Like his gas was empty. He went and talked to John Ding. He was tired as hell. He was emotional. He looked like me when I have no coffee for 3 days, tired, dead, and I'm in tears. Right? I was like, man, this guy's gotta do it. Just someone smack him. Someone make him feel better. Someone say, you got this, man.
He was so close, man. Because he was so close. Think about it. Because he beat a Tief.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, a Tief is the scariest player. If I had to pick like the last person on earth to face, it's a Tief. To me, a Tief is the scariest.
Did you see that like at the
he's
end?
so good, man.
Yeah, he's so good.
So Chikarin beats a Tief, and then he takes Arslan to final round. He could have been in winners.
Yeah. He could have.
Was 1 round away from beating both of them. So it's like, when you get that close, And when you're a previous Evo and Tekken World Tour winner like him, because I think he's won Evo Japan and Tekken World Tour, the expectation is basically your expectation gets so high that you got to win to get that dopamine hit.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to be happy when you come within an inch of repeating, these glorious achievements. Yes,
It
gotta be
almost felt
perfect.
like when he was fighting Atif, and when he was fighting Atif and Arslan with like Lily and Clive, especially Clive, he really tried to catch them with like 1+2, the heat engager, a lot,
Mhm.
right? He really tried focusing on doing catching them on certain timings with that, right? That's what it felt like. That and the teleport, right? Because at certain ranges, the teleport will become a true 50-50, right? After a wake up, right? Because you're not going anywhere, you know? That mid's gonna hit
It,
you, that low's gonna hit you too.
it's rough, man. It's rough. I don't blame the guy for being crushed, and I'm sure he's still gonna be like happy and proud of the placement because there's just so many good players now. Like James was saying, it's so stacked, man. Like, and it's getting crazier. These Tekken 8 majors have been way crazier than the Tekken 7 ones because on Tekken 7, if you went to like CEO or something, dude, like you could get like top 24 and it wasn't that hard. Like, I had friends that were not that great that were getting like 25th at CEO. So it was like
Hmm.
you can't do that anymore, man. And the reason is not just TWT, because TWT was always like was a good incentive, right, to go to a lot of these majors. But the only people that really showed up were the ones that knew they could afford to go to a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And now, and knew they would place. Now because of EWC, people are like, dude, I just need one. I just need one great placement, and I'm in the $1 million tournament.
There you go.
So it's brought out like every Korean and every Pakistani that can get a visa. It's brought out like everybody. So they're so stacked, and it's why NA is like really struggling to place. Man, there's just too many savages, and like it used to be that like in all of our majors, all of the EU would turn up like for one of them. It was
Mhm.
like that combo breaker 10v10. That combo breaker 10v10, we got like all the EU players to come out for that, right?
Yeah.
But then, like at CEO, it was only some of them. It was only like Super Akuma and Kwis and Joka, but not all of them. Now you're getting all of the Europeans, all of them. You're getting all of the Pakistanis, all of them. You're getting all the Koreans, all of them, and you're even getting all the Japanese players, all of them. Because it used to be that like you might look at a major and it's like, oh, Nobi's here. Now it's like no, it's like Nobi, Chikrin, Pina, like everybody, bro.
Everyone,
Um,
yeah.
everybody shows up and and I think it's EWC.
Mhm.
I think that is the reason we're getting more consistency from all of those like world class players, all the guys that might make top 8. Because when you look at it, there's like 40 people now. Like there's like 40 names at Evo. Where like if I say that name and I tell you they got to top 8, you would not be like, what?
What?
How? I'd be like, oh yeah, Pena made top 8. Okay. Oh, Pena got 33rd. Okay. Like both work, both possible.
All right.
That's how crazy it is.
So here's the big one. What did you think about the grand finals?
Bro, I
Oh,
didn't even watch it.
I didn't watch it. That's okay. That's completely fine.
I literally,
I
and
watched
again,
it.
man,
I watched it.
like I said, I respect Atif more than anyone. Like from all the players, he's the one I respect the most. To me, Atif is like peak. I'm like, I can't believe when I'm watching how good this guy is.
Seth,
And obviously, Arson, like I said, I'll always cheer for. He's just as good as that guy too. And so it's like when they got there, I knew it's like, hey, two sparring partners. That's kind
yeah,
of hype.
yeah.
But
I was about to say Seth said that like because I'm basing a lot of like I'm saying a lot of what he said because he doesn't play fighting games. He never does, right? But he said three big things that he said is one, in Tekken 7, it looks like you couldn't do like a lot of like crazy moves like in Tekken 8 now, right? Because of
right.
movement.
Mhm.
That um, that down forward 1-2 from Anna and Nina are bullshit because of the fact that it was just repeat into stance stuff, and then 3, that he didn't like that there was 2 characters of the same person, two characters, the same
Too
style.
similar playing. It'd be
similar-
like King versus
yeah.
Armor King. Type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. That would be cool, but it was like it was Anna versus Anna, and then Nina versus Anna. But he said,
And they're just not fun.
Wow.
The two characters in their current state, they're not fun to watch, and they're not fun to play against.
Yeah.
Neither. There was the Jimmy J versus Bilal Bryan mirror. Dude, people are hype.
yeah,
That's
oh
not
yeah,
hype because they're like trying to show off their execution. They both got crazy neutral. It's like Bryan. That's the thing about Bryan, right? Like I said, I think he's probably the second best character.
Well, if you got Bryan versus another Bryan, they can't be pressing buttons because someone's getting count hit, right?
He's kind of fun to watch. And here's the other thing. It is not fun to play against King. Like
No.
King is like ugh.
No.
For watching King's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see that guy get gripped up.
Oh yeah.
I want to see it, dude. So like, if you watch King versus Armor King might actually be fun to watch because like watch these guys not break these grabs, bro. Let's go. Like watching Sokobi at Texas Showdown, dude. I was cheering for him so hard. He got second place behind Dawn. He was tearing it up in top 8, and it's like I would never want to play against King, but watching Sokobi play King, that's fun. That's
have
really fun.
a personal respect for Sokobi. When I went to Red Bull Conquest with some of my buddies, we seen him just hanging out all by himself, and I was like, let's come hang out. And he hanged out with us the whole tournament. I didn't even know he was like this top fucking player guy. Right? I asked him while we were playing locals, like, hey, how did you get here? Did you where'd you come from? He's like, oh, I won a tournament and I got here for free. I'm like, what? Huh? You exist?
You gotta love Sokobi.
Yeah, he's a fucking amazing dude. He's so nice.
I love him.
Yeah, he's so cool, right? I gotta hang out with him again.
He's dope as hell.
Yeah.
I first met him. I flew into Texas Showdown in Houston many years before I even moved here.
Yeah.
I came to hang out with some buddies and stuff. It was like Mark Jackson was out here. He was like living here at the time. And I met Sokobi and we ran some casuals. And it was like very back and forth and like I barely got him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like I got something like 17th in the tournament, but he was in top 8, and I was like, "Oh damn, that guy is really good." I didn't realize.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And I realized that like when Showdown turns up, like that guy's like, there's a couple of guys where like when it's an offline tournament, especially if it's in Texas, like that person's a menace. Trojan, Sokobi, like there's a couple where it's like, nope, online don't count. Like show up, play that guy in person, offline, and do it in front of a Texas crowd. Good luck.
I like that. So, here's the big one. Okay, let's talk about some of your tweets. Okay, let's talk about some of your tweets. Okay.
My tweet.
All right, so you're in trouble. So, like,
I gotta
know, like, how did that happen? What happened with the phone and the couch? That was hilarious as hell when I seen it, right?
What I said is true. What I said was, so here's what I was doing, right? I have Eris restreaming on the big screen.
Every third word is bitch.
Yeah, it's great. It was great. There was a point at which Chikarin was playing Arslan and Chikarin like raised his hand to get coaching because apparently that's the thing now is like you lose the match and if you want coaching you raise your hand and they're like, all right, go ahead. So Chikarin raises his hand and Eris goes, time out, get me some steroids.
Give me some steroids.
And then someone was just being a dickhead in the chat and he's like, that's it, you're kicked, say hello to the main man for me. Say hello to the main man. Too good. So I've got him up on the big screen and I basically got him up just to listen to him talking shit. And every time I see Anna on the screen, I'm like, nah, like I don't even want to watch this. Like I'm zoned out. Like I'm literally scrolling on Twitter, and then if there's other characters, what's this here? Let me see this. But then it's just so much Anna. It was like it got to the point where I'm like, dude, I'm trying to see some good matches. I've put the day away to sit down and watch some good Tekken, and there's just no good Tekken on the screen.
Anna. Oh look, another Anna. Bro, I seen the picture. Right, it just says so much Anna on the screen that I threw my phone on the couch and it left a mark.
Dude, that's literally what
Your
happened. So I
phone.
got Eric on the big screen, and then I've got my phone in my hand, right? And like I'm not even really streaming it on the phone, to be honest, but I'm looking at the TV screen. And it was like I just keep looking up, and I'm like Anna, and then there's like another one, and I look out, I'm like, and then it's like Anna again. I was just like, I was so sad. I was like, I threw it. I'm like, oh, what's a mark? What is?
Your phone grabbed
get that
on.
off?
Your phone fucking grabbed on to the chair, watching all the tech,
Crazy.
and it was like.
It sat there all night. I was like, I'm concerned. Like, let me try to like.
Just the tear marks all over on the thing. Stop, don't worry, it's okay. It's
God,
okay.
man. Yeah. But yeah, I don't even know, man. and it's really funny because on any other night, you don't even know what like the Ana players can get kind of aggressive sometimes. So you never really know. You know, people get really defensive about the waifus. You know, if you start talking bad about like Lily or Asuka or Anna, like you're gonna get like people with like stan accounts. Be some account that's like Asuka's knee or something.
Yeah, no, that's weird. That's weird. That's weird. That's a social, um, some kind of like social connection, kind of weird thing to the character in that regard.
It's a thing.
You know?
People get super defensive about the waifus.
Hey,
Hwoarang players we get really defensive once you tell us our character's busted, and here's why. Here's why. I'm gonna tell you exactly why we're so defensive. That conversation cannot be had on Twitter. You should never be allowed to discuss Hwoarang on Twitter. Here's why. Here's how it usually goes.
Well, it's easier for people to get in arguments on that and be okay doing it because they're behind a fucking screen.
No, here's why. With that specific character, it cannot happen on Twitter. It has to happen after you guys played a set. Okay. And here's why. Okay. Because what usually happens is I've just 20 streaked you, right? I'm like, it says 24 wins on the bottom left, and you start bitching about Hwoarang, and I'm like, oh, hold on, you're really bad in this matchup.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. You're not doing anything to counter this. You're eating like everything. Like, you're not really saying the character's like true faults because you're not leaning into any of them. And every Hwoarang player has played that one guy or a bunch of them or has gotten far enough in bracket to run into the guys that know the matchup. And it feels exhausting. It feels like such an uphill battle. It feels like you have to work harder than anybody else. It feels like you got to climb the hill is so steep sometimes, right? Or you might run into that one pro that actually doesn't know the matchup and you steamroll him. And then you're like, dude, I beat that guy. I always ask, like, did he know? Like, James always goes, was he bad against Hwoarang? And I'm like, yeah, he was. He was pretty bad against Hwoarang. And it's like, so yeah, we can sometimes get those big wins. And people are like, look, even that player cannot. And I was like, dude, he doesn't even know. Like, he's horrible in this matchup.
Yeah.
Like, this is like this particular matchup is an issue for him.
Whenever like anyone's talking bad about like my character, I just let it happen because they're not gonna listen. They've already chosen, right? And like I did for a little bit argue back and like try and tell them my thoughts, but it got to a point like some people would like give me death threats, you know? Like, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. It's not cool.
And the Dragunov thing is so weird because he's not a knowledge check character the way that Hwoarang is, right? Yeah, no. Hwoarang has always been the scrub crusher. And that's why I'm like, if I look back on Tekken 7 and I find out that you were bitching about Hwoarang in Tekken 7, I am not listening to your opinion on the character on 8. Just like the main man. The main man was crashing out over Hwoarang in Tekken 7. He was like, I've hated this character for 20 years. And I'm like, I bet you never really learned how to fight him. I get it.
Whenever I have a character I don't know or I find really frustrating, one, I look up the fuck out of them. I lab the hell out of them. Or I go find someone and make friends that plays that character because they know the character. Who doesn't like to talk about their own character? Like, what cool things does your character do? Oh, let me tell you.
Yeah, and sometimes what you might actually run into, and it's kind of funny. I ran into this with Black Pharaoh, the Raven player here, where, you know, I've trained with him a bunch. I love the dude. And like, he's over here and I'll be like, dude, so what's up? What's up with this move? I was like, keeps clipping me. And he's like, nope, that move has like no tracking. And I'm like, are you sure?
It's happening.
He's like, it has no tracking. He's like, look, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna jab, and I'm gonna do the move, and you walk it. And I'm like, yeah, but that's up close, right? That's up close. It has tracking at range. I was like, I'm talking about Raven's like power crush actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, it'll track. Oh, look, it clips you at range. He's like, oh man, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And it's like, so sometimes true character specialists
You're
that
still
like
gonna
really
find
know a
new
lot about,
things.
yeah, they might learn new things too. So sometimes it's actually really helpful to kind of like stop a set, like stop casuals or whatever, and you lab a situation out together.
Yeah.
Because it might be surprising. But so that's a part of the issue is sometimes people lab stuff and they miss things.
Yeah.
Maybe they labbed whether or not they can walk this at this range, but then you can, but then at this range you can't. Or like, oh, but if like you land this move for whatever reason, that follow-up does this. Like the game is so complicated that there's no way we all know the answers. Like you might show me something new, dude. Like I don't know. But
That's why I like
sometimes
about
labbing
games.
alone is not enough, even. And you got to get that buddy that's a character specialist, and then you might even need to lab together to see like, hey, is what you're telling me, is it true? Like, what about this scenario? And then, oh, yeah. It's like I didn't even think about that. So it's really helpful. But some people are like lone wolves, dude, and a lot of these people that you hear complain about characters and things, they only play online and they only lab by themselves. And it's like, dude, like you might need, like I understand you lab the character, dude, but you're still not good in the matchup.
You need friends. You need friends.
Yeah, it might be that you just didn't lab it out correctly. Like maybe you missed things. You didn't consider scenarios. Maybe the way you lab is not in full. Like we don't all lab this there's this misconception that everybody labs at the same level. And it's like, no, absolutely not. When I see James lab, I'm like, holy shit, you found that? And he's like, yeah, I always like what? That's crazy. He's like, yeah, man. Like, oh, okay. So like people lab at like people find crazy
different ranges,
solutions.
right? Different ranges, like you were explaining, right? It's in that regard with like labbing, it's the same, you know, kind of the same thing, different ranges, right? Which is eye opener.
Yeah, and people just like some of their defensive solutions, right? Sometimes they don't think about like character specific things, and it's like James used to like blow my mind. He's like, "Why don't you try that?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, it works!" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh wow." When I was labbing, I was just trying like jab, dig jab, sidewalk right, sidestep left, sidewalk right, left, and like it didn't work, and I called it good. I tried back one, didn't work. It's like so sometimes there's like other options, man. It's kind of crazy.
Sometimes even
there's a lot of possibilities.
Sometimes
But so the issue is when somebody starts talking about Hwoarang, it's like, dude, we could be having this conversation after I just 25 streaked you in casuals, and it'd be a different vibe.
Yeah.
You might actually, we might be like talking about like, dude, this character's busted, and it's like, well, what are you struggling with? Well, this keeps hitting me. Okay, let's go over this situation. Then you see this and like,
okay. Yeah. Dots will start to connect, and you're like, maybe it'd be better, right? Yeah. Whenever I see someone who like is struggling, I have a habit. I don't message people anymore on Twitter. I like see people, and then I just say, just go make a friend. Go make a friend that plays that character. That will help you. They like to talk about it, right? But as we know, people are going to do what they want in the end.
And again, sometimes a move, right? A move might really be really strong.
Yeah.
Like Hwoarang's down back 4. That move is, what is it? Maybe his best move now? Maybe. Super good move, right? But when we're having this conversation, you still have a misconception maybe about how that move even works because you thought
that's the new tracking move.
No, it's the low. It's the low poke. It's 16 frames, and he can do flappy afterwards.
Oh yes, that one. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's always had that move, but the issue now is that whenever he's in heat, if he gets a counter hit off of it, the damage is fucking crazy. It's too much, and that's if you tell me like, hey, we need to nerf the down back 4 damage. To how they nerfed his jab damage, the jab into flappy, like make it the same. Be like, okay, that's a fair nerf, sure. But when you start telling me like Tekken Master that you're guessing for your entire health bar every time you block that move, that's not true
No, you're not.
because
You're not.
you're not playing the risk reward correctly because it's like, well, what are your guesses? So you have the misconception that if you block down back four and you jab, you might get launched, but that's not true because the hop kick doesn't have enough frames to
No, it
launch,
does
right?
not, right? Because you blocked it,
So
right?
like you're telling me this move is busted, and hell, I might even agree with you that it's busted and it needs a nerf, but it's not what you think. You still have a misconception of what you're talking about. So in your head, it's overblown. In your head, it's overblown. Like if you block down back four and you dick jab, the most I can do is up forward three and smack you down, do a little bit of damage, do a little follow up. But you're not getting launched. You're not dying for it. You're not losing the entire round for it. That's not going to be the only mistake you made to lose that round. So it's like it's a misconception. And then another guy was like trying to tell me, and I was like, he's like, dude, down back four is busted on counter hit, and I'm like, in heat, and he's like, dude, it just does way too much damage on counter hit, period. And I'm
In
like,
heat.
no, it does like barely any damage on counter hit. And he's like, that's it, I'm done talking to you. And it's like, no, I said it's true. You need heat for it to do damage. If I counter hit you with down back four, but I don't have heat, I'm not getting much, bro. Like, what?
Speaking of stuff like that, in the tournament, I started abusing my Sabaki parry.
Oh yeah.
Because in heat it becomes unblockable,
Mm.
right? And it takes away great health. So I actually started popping my heat a little later in the round if I had a life lead, and I would, because they're more likely to block at that. And
Yes.
so I would just make them block and then boom, hit them with it. And then I had a guy go, "What the hell is that move?" And then,
Yeah, man.
And then I was about ready to tell him during set, "It's a high, right? It's a high. You can duck it." But I was like, quiet, be quiet. Not the time to be nice.
That's actually so most of the coaching I do is often with people that are like newer players and stuff. So like we'll go over, different stuff.
That's
But
good.
the coaching that I do with like some of the old school players or some of the guys at my own skill level that struggle at some of the stuff is really funny. The most common error that I have found is that people maintain the same game plan even if the other character's in heat. And then I ask, I'm like, well, hold on, when you go into heat, don't you like modify how you play? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you start using all those heat moves, right? Like, yeah, because that move starts doing this in heat, and this move starts doing. I'm like, yeah, you see how it changes? I'm like, you have to change how you're playing against the other character when they're in heat, because you have to think about the moves that they have access to now in heat, right? And you have to look at their resource, and you have to look at their bar, and they're, oh shit, you're so right. And I'm like, yeah.
Whenever I fight Raven, for instance, I always try to stay as close as possible.
Oh, interesting.
So I stay as close as possible, and then always try and either just keep them still with a down forward one, just keep them busy, not even trying to. I don't even try to like necessarily try and be aggressive in any manner. I just fake it so that I can get them to burn out their heat.
Oh yeah,
because
playing faster Tekken to kind of keep them from busting out the big moves. And I know what you mean. Yeah,
exactly.
If heat bar is kind of low, that's something that actually James picked up on, is when their heat bar's kind of running low, they probably want to do like a heat smash or a heat dash, but those moves tend to be most of the time,
exactly, right,
slower. So if you're doing like a bunch of jabs and down forward ones, you might actually stuff them. But so that's definitely one thing. But what I mean is like so like Hwoarang, right? We just said in heat, he has a low that counter hits like crazy, right? Outside of heat, it's not a problem. But so why would you ever power crush against Hwoarang when he's in heat? When you know that they're way more likely to be doing a bunch of down back fours, and if you power crush, they're gonna counter hit confirm it and launch you for like 100 whatever damage. So it's like, hold on, he's in heat. Why are you got to play frame tight because he has the 10 frame into the flappy.
Yep.
And when you're defending, why would you power crush when he's likely to catch you with that low? Once you start thinking about that risk reward, it changes. But people don't change how they play, whether
maybe it might be like at certain levels they're not incorporating that yet. At certain ranges they're not incorporating that yet, or maybe it's still so new that the majority of players haven't incorporated so far.
Yeah, well, the concept of playing differently against the character based on their resources is new to Tekken players,
Oh,
right? Unless you were
super,
playing against
super new.
unless you're playing against Geese or Akuma in Tekken 7,
Uh,
which, let's be honest, for NA players was rare unless they went to a lot of international tournaments. We didn't have that many Akuma players,
no, we
right?
did not.
But
We did
like
not.
when Akuma's got like bars, changes
Oh yeah.
how you
It's
play
like
against him.
I fuck up once. I fuck up once, and he's good. I'm hella gonna leave. I have a buddy named named Nartugi. It's guitar like backwards or rearranged, and
Oh wow.
and he plays on an Xbox controller with the thumbsticks.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, freaking
but he plays.
Joe Crush and Rhythm play with the analog dude.
Yeah, they do it. He does it too. But he played Akuma, and he would use everything.
Oh, wow.
Everything, like scary. So when I did actually fight an Akuma back in Tekken 7, I'd be a little bit more ready, right? He's scary as hell.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the heat stuff obviously changes a lot. And at the highest level, all those players consider that. They know like, oh, well, Claudio's in heat. He's got yeehaw. Like it's safe. Like you got to be mindful of getting crushed because it's very possible they're going to be busting that move out. It changes.
Yeah.
The gameplay changes. And a lot of people don't consider that stuff, so when they start complaining about moves, it's kind of like, yeah, but
Plus, it's so much easier to just complain about the move instead of actually going with their friends and looking at the move and saying what are those. It's good to establish your opinion and everything on moves and balance and that kind of stuff, but you're talking into a void essentially when you're on social media, and it's essentially talking back, but what result are you wanting, right? What result are you wanting? Just because you say this, is it going to get changed? Or are you like hoping that the player stop doing it? Are you wanting to make an argument, it's good to say, wow, your character is strong and broken in this regard, but like, it's like, what do you want? What do you want?
I just think the conversation is much better had after you play with someone or you
Yeah.
have played with someone previously, because you can kind of be like, you can really look at like what's happening when they're complaining about something, right? You can be like, well, yeah, you're right. You died a lot to that move, but it's because you keep making this mistake over and over again.
Exactly.
What if you just didn't do that?
If you just pop out of nowhere, blah blah move really sucks, right? Okay, why? Let's talk why. When did it come out, right? Like, okay, here's an example. I know we might be pivoting, but whenever I hear anyone talk about mid crushes, I've gotten really used to it because of Tekken 7 Dragunov, right? And I think to myself, when, where, and why, right?
Who was it that said that there's no such thing as a mid crush? There's only mid evasion. Was it Dawn?
I think it was Don, but I still call him mid crush because it's like
No, I know exactly what you're saying. You say mid crush, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You do a mid, it didn't hit.
It didn't connect, right? It was like it just got
Wow.
skipped. It got skipped, right? Went through,
Yeah.
right? Like a high crush, right? Essentially, same regard. But if someone mid crushes me, I think about when did they do it, and then where, and then
And that's that particular matchup stuff, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is if we played, sets, right?
Yeah.
And I see you actually doing all the correct counter things, but this particular move with the other character is just too good in this matchup. I might be like, yeah, you're right. This is actually really rough to deal with.
yeah,
Or, some moves are simply so good that I'll actually have no criticism because maybe there is no answer to it, right?
Mhm.
Because there is a bunch of those where like, oh no, this really does need to be toned down. But if there's any
forward
kind of,
Dragunov definitely needed to fucking be toned down.
yeah, if there's just any kind of counterplay to anything ever, if it does exist, and I see that you're never even attempting that, you might think that that move might still be busted, but you might think it's more busted than it actually is.
Yeah.
Because you're not even doing the little counterplay that there is to that move, right?
Mhm.
So but obviously this game is crazy.
It's
There's
so
a lot of
crazy.
crazy moves. There's a lot of work to be done. A lot of that season 2 stuff is still in there.
Oh yeah.
Every character is too much. Every character is overtuned. Everybody's got busted stuff that needs fixing.
Yeah.
My fear is that,
They're gonna triple down.
Michael Murray recently tweeted and he said, "We're fixing the game. It may not be at the rate that you like, but we're doing it." Here's my concern with that. If they pick, let's say Anna, right? And they nerf the shit out of Anna. And Anna is finally balanced. The gameplay is healthy. It's how it should be.
Yeah.
She's now trash tier because nobody else is like that. Nobody else has healthy
That's the
gameplay.
one. That's the one problem I've noticed with Tekken is they have a tendency to either one leave characters behind or butcher them. Look at like Fakaram in Tekken 7. They didn't know how to balance him at all, and then he ended up just being absolutely fucked up. Right? He was very strong in some regard, but they could have made him a lot better. Right? Or another character that was really messed up is, in my opinion, I could be very wrong, but Eddie. Right? Eddie had like a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie had like a lot of mishaps. Like slippery kicks would never connect. Right? They'd never fucking connect. For example, right? And
yeah, Eddie has issues even in 8, which is really funny because the character is so strong. Right? He's actually really good.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to the Eddie down players. When you get 3 Eddies in top 8 at a major, one of them's like an 18-year-old, the other one's a Mortal Kombat player, and then one of the GOATs ever, Jean Ding, is still picking Eddie. Like, that character doesn't suck. But the problem with Eddie is he has some bugs.
Yeah.
And sometimes those bugs let tournament players down. And they're so frustrated. They're like, this character is trash. And it's like, no, that needs to just be fine-tuned. The character is strong, and he has strong mix-ups, and he has high-level gameplay. It's just some of the bullshit needs to be fixed, and that's a whole different thing. But yeah, my fear. So I'm a huge fan of them nerfing the whole game as a whole. Like I remember when they were like, all right, heat smashes, we're taking out the tracking. They're like, all right, heat dashes, the amount of chip damage they do, hard nerf. And I was like, that's healthy because it applies to all characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So those are healthy mechanics changes that are making the game better, and we need more of those so that characters are not left behind. Because like, all right, we nerfed this character's damage or we nerfed this character's mix-ups a lot. It's now reasonable and fair, and it's like, yeah, but nobody else is, so that character's just ass now. So that's kind of my fear. I think hopefully they're actually in the background right now working on a mass patch, and they're just looking to roll it out at the same time, because they're telling us we're not going to get anything till like October, right? They said the August and September patches are just going to be like bugs and stuff.
Yeah, like I really want them to really focus on it and like take their time. Don't and like just try not to like go overly heavily into the aggression even more, because it's like, how much can you go before the game is like, it's in some regards it's almost already just a one-player game, right?
Did you know what might actually kill this game?
What?
And I haven't heard anyone say it, but here's worst case scenario and best case scenario. Best case scenario, they're in the background right now working really hard on nerfing the whole cast, just all across, right? And what is going to be is a season 3. See, that's probably what it is. Season 3, right? When the new year hits, and it's like, hey, new Tekken World Tour season. Here's season 3. The patch notes come out. It's just hard nerfs for everybody. And it's like, damn, the game is healthy now. But the worst case scenario is, what if season 3 comes out and they added new moves, new mix-ups to everyone like they always do?
And stuff, yeah.
And it's like, oh, now we got wall bounces. Now we got this. We got these new
that stuff now.
And it's like, we got these new mechanics, which are new ways to kill your opponent, and everybody gets them, which is what season 2 was.
Yeah.
And it was like an already overtuned game, and you gave Hwoarang like 2-3 new moves.
Yeah, a lot of it in season 2 was like looking at every character, and it was like, why do they need it? Right? Why did they need this?
Nobody needed any of that.
No one did. No one did. No one did.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. But they gave everybody something. And it was like, even the characters, right? Because I remember looking at Jin, right? And it was like, oh, they nerfed this and they nerfed this. And I'm like, ooh, you did so good. These are great changes. And we gave them these mix-ups. Like, why? You just ruined the good thing. You did good. Why'd you do that? So I'm so afraid that season 3, if it's a repeat season 2,
Mhm.
And they add a whole bunch of new moves. No, go guys, these moves are balanced. And it's like, no, you made offense even crazier now. Like, no. If they do that, man, the game might actually
Be
it
cooked.
might yeah, we can't take another one of that.
No, we cannot.
Hopefully it's the best case scenario, and when season 3 comes out, and I know what Namco is thinking from a marketing perspective. They know that when a Lily player opens the patch notes and sees a whole bunch of nerfs, that's not exciting. That doesn't make you want to go play, dude.
No.
That when you open, oh, season 3 is out for well, let me see. What the heck? They made my character way worse. It's like, I don't want to turn that on. They're like, I was already ass at this game. Now I'm being more ass. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Right? But what the casuals might not be realizing is it's across the board. It's like, well, actually, all the other characters also got nerfed, but that's not exciting. That doesn't make you turn on the game. What makes you turn on the game is like, yo, you see Lily got that new busted move, and it's like, ooh, I want to try that. I might do pretty good with that move.
You see that new mix-up into unblockable mix-up into a Fallout mix-up? Yeah.
Yeah, and the Lily player's like, dude, not even my best friend who's like super good at this game is gonna be able to deal with this. That's hype. Let me try it. And so they know from a marketing perspective that buffing people's characters gets people excited to hop back on in the same way that guest characters gets people excited to hop back on because they're like, yo, what if I go on there with Noctis and like they can't handle my Noctis? But like, if they add on like a legacy character, you're like, well, that's going to be hard. There's like legacy players that already play that character. The guest characters are exciting for casuals because they create a new possibility of like a completely new, like, what if, like, what if I play this character? Like, so new stuff is more exciting than stuff being toned down.
Yeah, that's a really hard one for them. I didn't think
It
about
sucks,
that at all.
but I don't care. That's the problem. Is there's a misalignment or whatever you want to call it between what we want as like tournament players and as people that live on this game and what the company may want. The company wants to release a new season and get everybody on. And maybe if all these nerfs just have such a positive reception, right? Because like nerfs are not exciting, right? But what if, here's what I think, this is why it's the best case scenario. What if all these nerfs come out and what you see on social media is such a positive response? Everybody's saying like, guys, the game's finally good. The game's finally balanced. Guys, the game's finally toned down. Oh my God, we're actually having fun playing.
Do you think that could be possible though? Because
I do, but only through nerfs. This is the only way.
Yeah.
Like buff, like maybe buff backdash, buff movement, allow if Tekken was perfect, it would allow for multiple playstyles. Here's what I mean. In Tekken 7, you backdash to infinity. Too much defense, couldn't really run enough offense. In Tekken 8, it's too much offense, can't move enough, can't defend enough. The perfect game would actually allow for both. Kind of like how in boxing, you might have a dude that's very like defensive, right? And then you might have another dude that hits really hard and is like really aggressive and really offensive and is a knockout artist. And you want to see the knockout artist go up against the dude with the amazing footwork and the amazing defense and see if dude's gonna jab him out and keep him out, or if the other dude's gonna knock him into outer space.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
That all depends if the hard guy can really get him in the corner though. But yeah, exactly, right? There's.
But I want to see that.
Yeah, exactly, right? You want to see that. You want to see if the other guy can get away. You want to see if the other guy can get really aggressive, right?
That was the whole Canelo versus Mayweather and Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It was kind of like, are they going to be able to break down his amazing defense, or is his defense just too good?
Yeah,
that was the whole thing. But Tekken should allow for that. Tekken should be like, yo, we got Nobi, one of the most aggressive, offensive Japanese Dragunov players, against Nii, one of the most defensive players ever. Let's see what prevails. Nii's amazing defense or Nobi's amazing offense. Let's see it. But now it's kind of like, no, we know that you gotta get in there and mash out.
Yeah, you gotta drink.
Going with that heat.
You gotta drink 3 shots of whiskey. Fucking plug your ears and go in.
Nobody can be like a true turtle. I remember there were times in Tekken 7 when I would play against FDX when he got better, later on in Tekken 7 when he got really good at the game, and he would be such a turtle. I'm like, damn, it's hard to open him up. He keeps stepping. His backdash got so fast, and initially his backdash on P2 was bad, but then his backdash on P2 got almost as good. And it was like, damn, he's moving on P2 as well. So even if I throw him, I can't close the distance. And it was like he was turtling so good and playing counter hits with Noctis so good and just kind of keep out. I was
Yeah,
like, damn, he never comes in and initiates. He's not the type of Noctis to like run in and just emo man you. He's just like backdashing and turtling and playing neutral, and it was like this is hard. This is hard. I'm trying to open
and you're already
up, but it's
playing
hard.
like Tekken 7 Whoring, which is like you cannot initiate very well. It's hard for you.
It's hard, yeah, it's hard, right? Yeah, I'm constantly fighting to like close the distance, but that was a match of like I'm a very offensive mix-up heavy player. He's a very defensive like turtle, and we're trying to make it work. But again, the game favored the turtle so heavily
Yeah.
that it was unfair to the offensive mix-up player. But now it's the complete other way. Now it's like screw the turtle, and I don't like that. That's actually not fun for me as the aggressive mix-up player. I want the other player. It's actually really fun trying to open up someone that has amazing movement and amazing defense.
Yeah,
It's
because
really
like
fun.
it's a dopamine hit and everything. It feels good, right? We had methods, right? I was like, I seen videos. They would come up with like how to be a turtle. Tekken 8, you can't find it. It's just run your fucking offense, right?
Nobody even uses the word anymore. Because like
No.
if you're a turtle, what you are is you're ass at the game.
That's me. You know.
It sucks, man. The game should support both play styles equally.
Yeah.
And then the people that are best at each play style should be the ones progressing. But it should be, and then maybe you run into two turtles, maybe you run into two mix-up artists. Cool, man. Let's watch. And
That's
when
how
you get
boxing works. There's going to be two
Exactly.
people defensive, right? You know.
Yeah, you get the Tyson Fury versus Wilder, and they're both knockout artists, and like so everybody's dropping left and right. Like,
yeah. Or you're gonna see super methodical, right? Either way, if they're super defensive, one of them's gonna have to be aggressive, and then it's gonna be a shift and shift and shift, right? Yeah. You want that. I want that. Yeah.
Exactly, but now it's kind of like the game. It's super weird because the game's still really hard, right? It's insanely hard, but it doesn't support different play styles. And I think actually something that nobody has pointed out, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I think that's why NA is struggling. Because historically speaking, outside of Anakin, so take Anakin out of the equation, Anakin was the one player in previous Tekkens that could play like pokey Korean style and like really hang with like truly the finest players in the world, which is why he was always like in grand finals at Combo Breaker and stuff.
I heard he would consistently travel down to Korea to go hang out with JDCR, like consistently.
Makes sense. Yeah, he was one of those guys, but the rest of NA, historically speaking, the best guys that have done the best against international competition were really tricky players. The Jameses of the world, the Doc Massacres of the world, the guys that had a whole bunch of tech traps, the guys that had American resets, right? That's our whole thing, American reset. But American resets are based on the concept of a tech trap, sometimes even out in the open, because I'm dropping combo, I'm giving up damage. And if you tech, I have a tech trap. I have a tech trap. If you stay down, then I have this. And now it's only like Brian at the wall that has that shit. But people used to have creative setups and like dirty things that were like tech traps at the wall that would like guard break and shit. It was really cool stuff for like jump over tech. There was all this tricky stuff. And sometimes we would catch the Koreans with that stuff. We would catch the international players and like,
that was your weapon.
What?
Right? Yeah.
And then like key charge setups, right? James, the crazy maniac that might like key charge you, and then you're like, what? Let me go hit this guy, and then he like looks at your limb and parries you, and it's like there's crazy stuff, right? And they've taken so much of the creative play out that we're left with like this dry mix-up offense, which was always like the boring players in NA were like just, I'm just gonna run mix-ups, cool. But then like the really creative ones were the ones that actually would get those big wins. And I think we struggle with that now because so many of those mechanics are actually gone, and we're left with like, all right, he's in heat, but then like Knee is gonna know the 5 heat moves you want to use, and he can like try to play around, and it's difficult. It's difficult because they can do that stuff better than we can, and we have few surprises. Like, dude, watching Evo, how many times did you see something be like, yo, what an amazing trap, like what an amazing setup.
Not at all really.
There's no amazing setups. It's all the same mix-ups that the other 50 law players are doing.
Like how do I put this, it really feels like all the characters have kind of become like Lars, right, where everything's the same. right? Everything.
EBM used the word, oh god, I'm a foreigner, don't laugh at me. Homogenous? Is
Yeah,
that how you say it?
homogenized, right? It was all homogenized.
Yeah, everything's like the same,
Yeah,
right? And that's kind of the issue is, yeah, a lot of the
there's
characters
no
kind of play the
diversity.
same, the
Yeah.
game mechanics are kind of the same. So a lot of that like creativity, like you see Ling players are still like trying to do something with like tricky movement and setups. Like they're one of the very few characters that's still trying to do cool stuff. And like
Yeah.
even the Yoshis are like boring now, dude. The reason is because like back in the day, the previous Tekkens, Yoshi had like all these stances, and it was like
But now he
really
has the
hard to
he
like
has the
kind of.
he has the
He was like
offense
evasive,
combos
but
with
now
it.
it's
Yeah.
like, bro, I'm like he burst you out of Indian stance. Like what y'all here like I'm like he burst full combo easy. Get
Oh.
out of here. So trickier play is more difficult than ever,
Mhm.
and I myself, as somebody who tries to be tricky, am actually struggling to come up with creative setups because they keep deleting them.
Yeah, because
Horeng had a couple.
the game restricts
He had
you
a
so
couple in
much.
season one, and they deleted it.
Yeah.
So they took them out, dude. We had a couple of cool tech shits. We had a key charge setup,
Mhm.
which is very like old school. People already forgetting like Horeng got nerfed so hard. We had a dope ass key charge setup that K-Wisp was always using and I was using. It's gone. We
Kazuya
had
too. After not wall break, but a transition, wall transition, or
after
whatever.
a heat burst. So it was
Yeah.
basically like you could sacrifice combo damage out in the open and like heat burst and then like do it at the wall. It worked better because they were more like prone to having to guess, but it was kind of like we were sacrificing damage to do a key charge setup.
Yeah. Do
And
something cool, right? But
it
now
was something
they
cool and different. It was something cool
and
and different. And EBM actually solved the key charge setup on week one. He goes, what if I stay down?
yeah.
And I go, then I pancake flip you. And he's like, you gave up how much damage? And I'm like, oh, 10. And he's like, how much does that one do? I'm like, 12. And he's like, so you're pretty much getting your combo damage back. And I'm back in neutral. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, so it's not even that crazy of a key charge setup. But they took it out just because some people couldn't stay down. Horeng doesn't have a reflow. He's not Brian. He's
No,
not gonna
he
pick
does
you up.
not. Right? Yeah.
I'm not gonna pick you up off the floor at the wall, dude. And then he had that running shoulder setup that Edge was doing, which was really cool. It was like a very specific tech where like you finish your combo, you stand switch, and you could get like a running power crush in. They took that out.
Oh.
It's like, dude, they take out all the cool stuff, man. They want this like boring, dry ass 50-50 mix up play. And it's harder for NA to play that way. That's what I think.
Well, I think we talked for about 2 hours now.
Too long, man.
Too long.
What is this, a Joe Rogan podcast?
So, what do you think about mushrooms?
What if DMT was introduced?
No.
Yeah, man, the game's hard. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I hope everybody had fun at Evo. It looks like it was a better tournament. The game's not that imbalanced, even with Anna being strong. It's actually the state of the balance is better than it was in Tekken 7 because if you look at who picked the weakest character in Tekken 8, the gap between them and Anna is smaller than the gap was between Akuma and like the bear in Tekken 7.
I'm gonna play Anna because two reasons. Both from Seth's perspective. Seth said that one, she looks like my colors, right? The red, the black, the white.
Red in there, yeah.
Right. And then two, he knows I like to do down forward 1-1 jabs a lot.
Just say you're tear whoring, bro. It's okay.
No, damn. It's the colors.
Just come out with it.
I can't do it because I'll probably play Anna like me, right? I'll play Anna the way I want, right? I won't just sit there and be like, buttons, right? I can't do that. I can't just do that.
I'm gonna turn you into that. Just give it time.
You know what? Let's see what happens. If I do, I'll say Padawan said it. I'm a tier whore. I just can't. I can't be a tier because I remember Fear of Silence told me when people play off of who's strong, they're not character specialists, and because they don't do things that would give them optimization in some regards. and I want the optimization. That's why I like Dragonov, because I want to be better with him, right? Maybe I'll like Anna a lot, and I'll get optimized, and I might put on makeup and say yes, girl. You never know.
Dude, the thing is, NA historically all of our best players were always character specialists, right? When you look at the Lil Majin
Yeah,
run, and King
Majin.
specialist, Jimmy J, Anakin, all character specialists. But you know what's crazy? Fakramom came out, right?
Mm.
And he was out for like a couple of hours, only a couple of hours. And Ulsan tweets, he's like, "Don't think Fakramom's good." I'm struggling with Fakramom. And I was like, Ulsan, it's only been a couple of hours. And he goes, He goes, in this game, you only need a couple hours to know who's good and who's not. Because the game is more simple. In that it's kind of crazy because it might even be harder. You could say it's harder, but it's more simple to learn and play a character now because of all those universal mechanics.
Yes.
So you can kind of see, like, well, hold on, who's got the better heat moves? Well, hold on, who's got better heat dash? Who's got a better heat smash? Who's got better like these buttons? And then it's kind of easy to see. And they make a lot of these characters easy to play. And think about this: combos are easier than ever.
Way
Remember
easier.
remember like in Tekken 7 when you get sidewall, you have to be like a real character specialist to convert off of those sidewalls.
Yeah. Or
It was like, oh dude, that guy, like I remember Rest would get combos off the sidewall, and we were all like, dude, he's got like really good he went from sidewall, he went to the other wall. It was like, holy smokes, like he's so optimized.
Or like doing forward 3 cancels.
Yeah.
With Dragonov, right? Forward 3.
Yeah, there was like crazy stuff. And then that's what Jimmy J was saying in Tekken 7. He's like, I hate seeing people counter picking because for like one tournament, and they tried to counter pick. I remember it was like P-Ling switched from Ling to someone else, and someone else switched to someone else. It was like, I think it was Speed Kicks. They were like switching around to characters just trying to counter pick each other. And Jimmy J was like, this is so ugly to watch because it's not optimized play. Is that really the new meta? He's like, I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But because he was like saying that character specialists convert really well off these weird situations. But now it's so easy. I don't have to know a character that you just hit the sidewall. I'm a high heat burst.
Yep. Yeah.
Like cool, I got a combo extension. Like I got a whole thing. It's so easy to convert off of these things because of the mechanics. And the characters now, it used to be that, all right, you got 200 moves. Figure out what's good. Now the game tells you what's good. It's the heat engagers. And then it tells you what. Then you're like, what's good in heat? Oh, it's a whole column. It tells you all your special moves in heat. Those are going to be the most busted. Like you don't even need to figure it out. You don't need to figure out what's good. It tells you what's good. So it's like people can learn characters so much faster now that it's kind of nasty. I'm seeing it. I saw it with Clive. I see it with Fakramom. Like how quickly people have picked up Anna too. Like people that never even played Anna before. I remember like Atif, it was like his first tournament with Anna, and people are like, he looks like he's played Anna for 10 years.
Oh.
Like Atif's first tournament with Anna, he like won a big tournament, and I was like, he looks like he's played. Was it CEO? It was something. And people are like, he looks like he's played Anna for 10 years, a decade. Just the games. It's easier to pick up characters.
So much easier, yeah. That's why I'm gonna play Anna.
Do it, man. Knowing your luck, though, she's gonna get nerfed right as you start.
Probably, and you know me, I like playing honest characters, I guess.
No, for sure, man. Do your thing. As long as people are finding a way to enjoy themselves, I don't really care what character anybody picks. Ultimately, as a viewer, though, I definitely don't want to see like.
Bro, Seth,
of the 4-hour top 8, 3.5 hours are Anna. It's like, ugh.
Seth fucking fell asleep watching.
Rough, man.
He fell asleep watching. He literally, when he woke up, he said, "Is it over?" That was boring. Legit. And he's a viewer. I told him that this game was made for more people like him who view the game, right? It was made for spectators, right? And he said, "This is not a good game for spectators." Because I got bored.
It's rough. And then if you take that like Evo top 8 where Lil Majin got third, I've shown that Evo top 8 to people who have never played Tekken in their lives, and they're like, "Yo, this game's hype." Because they would ask me like, "Why?" I remember when I first started going to tournaments, because it was around that time. People were like, "Why do you like go to these things? Like, is it fun?" And I'm like, "Let me show you." I would pull up Lil Majin versus JD Sarah, and they're like, "Yo, this is hype." This is awesome. The crowd's just screaming, they're on their feet. Like the match is hype. The gameplay is intriguing.
Yeah.
And we had boring shit in Tekken 7 when we got all those DLCs and it was Cooney Grand Finals. That was the worst too.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because it's not good gameplay. Because Cooney's not good gameplay.
And it happened again. It happened again, essentially. It happened again.
But it's because the character is just not fun.
Yeah.
And I played Cooney. Cooney was my second character.
Really? I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really funny. Dragon Slayer used to be a Hwoarang player. And we would like play and I beat him like 10-1 or something. And then Cooney came out and dude like
you like jumped.
Within like a month or two, the first time we played I barely won like 10-9, and then like a month or two later he was beating Shadow, and then we played and he was beating my ass horribly, and I'm like, I don't know this character. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. And I lost to Dragon Slayer twice in tournament. And it was like, man, this is rough. And the first one was somewhat close, and the second one was not at all. He just whooped me up. And I was like, I need to learn this character. And then like I picked her up and I was like, yo, this is mad fun. This is so cheap. But then after I learned her and played Cooney, I never got to play him since.
I don't know if Dragon Slayer's still playing. I actually don't know.
He does. We're going to run some sets in a couple of days.
Oh, there you go. Good. Actually, because I haven't heard from him in a while, right?
Yeah, I just talked to him. I talked to him last night. He said he's going to go to some tournament in Portland. I'm not really sure what's going on.
Okay.
But then I think he said, when is he going to start? Like Thursday or something? And he's going to start training. I told him, I was like, let's run the sets. So he's like, all right, cool. I'm going to prep.